It's as close to time travel as we're gonna get. This week in music history with Marty Miller.
Strap yourselves in, boys and girls. Strap yourselves in. We are about to hammer through a week of music history, literal time travel, again in less than 10 minutes. Welcome to the podcast. This week it's May 18th to 22nd. We'll travel to 1978. We find a demo that's been recorded, which would become a really huge track.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime.
Anniversary this week of Doors keyboard player Ray Manzarek.
Thunder.
Deep Breaths, David Bowie in 1983. Deep breaths.
Not really, no. It's
This week in music history with Marty Miller.
We're going to start with something really grim, to be honest with you. It was this week back in 1980 that Joy Division singer and guitar player Ian Curtis hanged himself. He was just 23. He left a note behind and it said, "At this very moment I wish I were dead, I just can't cope anymore." Iggy Pop's album The Idiot was playing on his stereo when the incident happened. Here's the rest of Joy Division.
When Ian Curtis dies, and I said it immediately, and Wilson certainly did, he's like a Hendrix, he's like a Jim Morrison, a Janis Joplin. Everyone goes, don't be daft, it's like just a kid, But you kind of go, no, this will develop, this will grow.
It's not the usual kind of, rock and roll suicide or death due to alcohol or to drugs. He meant what he said when he wrote the songs.
This week in 1985, Simple Minds were number one with one of the most passed around songs ever. The Fix didn't want to do it. Brian Ferry said you're grand. Billy Idol said nah, thanks. Simple Minds took it on after Chrissie Hynde suggested they do. Here's Jim Kerr.
It's amazing. It seems to transcend different generations as well. Up until then, we'd never done anyone else's song, and we were young and we were precious and we're kind of scared. We thought, well, why would we do someone else's song? We've got this alive and kicking thing up our sleeve. And it even got worse because someone from the record company got in touch and said, no, you love it because it sounds just like you, which offended us.
This week in 1978, Dire Straits released their first major single, Sultans of Swing, recorded on a £120 budget. This is how it sounded first time round in the late 70s. This week in 1979, Supertramp went to number one on the US album chart with the album Breakfast in America, the group's only US number one. Fantastic album. This is Roger Hodgson.
A lot of these songs were my songs before they became Supertramp songs. I mean, people know them as Supertramp songs, but actually I wrote Dreamer, Breakfast in America, Give a Little Bit, It's Raining Again even, before Supertramp actually even started. So these were my babies from a very early age.
1997 this week, Foo Fighters gave the world their second album, The Colour and the Shape. Here's Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins.
A song about a movie, there's a song about the relationship between the journalist and the musician. There's songs about heroes that I had when I was a kid. And I think it's sort of everyone sort of tagged it as this heavy emotional trip. Man.
Jumping to 2013 this week in music history, Ray Manzarek of The Doors died. To the very end, he was so proud of what the band created in their rather short time together.
And here's the rain part. Thunder. After we finished the song, he said, "Oh man, I've got super rain and thunder. It's Riders on the Storm. It's raining on the desert, right?" "Yeah, exactly, Bruce. Raining on the desert." He said, "We got to put in some rain and thunder." So sure enough, the whole thing starts with.
This week in 1979, Elton John started a tour of Russia when he played the first of 8 concerts there, making him the first Western star ever to do so. Imagine being the one to break that mould and cross that bridge.
I had such a good time! What a night.
Do you think that was one of the best gigs of the whole tour?
Oh, undoubtedly.
Not just
I'm not just saying that. No. It was one of the best gigs of the whole tour. One of the most memorable gigs of my whole life.
In 1983, David Bowie was number one with the song Let's Dance, which featured the blues guitarist Stevie Ray Vaughan. This was David's first single to reach number one on both sides of the Atlantic, but it always annoyed him anytime he was asked if it was an actual dance song.
Not really, no. It has an intention of being danceable, but I think in terms of lyric, I've tried to keep as simple as anything that I've ever written before. I'd like to consider that I'm trying to write in a more obvious and positive manner than I've written in a long time.
Way back in time to 1958, Jerry Lee Lewis arrived at London's Heathrow Airport to begin his first ever British tour, along with his new bride, the 14-year-old third cousin, Myra. Although advised by his people not to mention it, Lewis answered all the questions about his private life, and the public shock over Lewis's marriage to his cousin marked the start of a controversy leading to his British tour being cancelled after just 3 of the scheduled 37 performances. Then, of course, he had to go back to the States and face the press there.
Well, the papers reported that you were greeted with silence over there and with catcalls from the audience. Is that right?
Well, I can't agree with him there, sir. No, the audience was very nice and very good.
Were you there, Mrs. Lewis?
I was there, but I wasn't at the shows.
Oh, you weren't at the shows? Oh, did you notice anything like that sort of reception?
No, it was a very good reception, I thought.
Why did you leave?
Well, I don't answer those questions, sir. My manager might knock my head off or something.
And finally, this week in 2022, Kurt Cobain's guitar, as used by him in Smells Like Teen Spirit, the video, sold at Julien's auctions for a whopping $4.5 million. At the time, it was one of the most expensive guitars in the world, but not anymore. And that is a look at this week in music history. That is Time Travel from May 18th to 22nd. My name is Marty Miller. Thanks for listening. We'll do it again next week.
Zipping through a week in a matter of minutes. This week in music history, the podcast.